Hello folks, a quick bow making tip for you today. We're going to take a look at tillering grooves. What are tillering grooves, I hear you ask? Well, they are the grooves that we put into the end of the bow when we're starting tillering. So this is a bow where I've done all the roughing out stages on it and I'm ready to put it now onto the tiller. So we've got to put some grooves into the ends of the bow. This particular end is the bottom so is where the bottom knock will eventually be, so that we can actually get the string onto the end of the bow. And obviously with the bottom of the longbow we use a bowyer's knot, so that will eventually go onto there and we'll tighten up like that, as you can see. This other groove is so that we can put a string on there, or a stringer, which is a piece of string we can use to help brace the bow up, because at this rough stage the bow is going to be very difficult to try and brace up, particularly if you're making a heavier bow. This is going to be around a sort of £50 target bow, this particular bow. So I'm going to show you how to put the grooves into the top here, which I haven't done yet. So we're going to be doing two grooves, as I say. We're going to be putting the groove in so we can use a bracing cord, and the other groove which is going to allow us to put the string onto the end of the bow here so that we can start the tillering process. Now this end, being the top end, is going to have the top loop. Now this doesn't tighten, this is just a loop. This is a laid in string, so this is the end that hasn't got a bowyer's knot in it. So this is going to actually form a slightly different shape as it will come down the bow slightly more than the other end, where it actually ties round. So we're going to have to do quite a slightly steeper shape of the angle. So I'm going to show you that now. So let's put our first groove in, so fairly near the end, so we're not artificially changing the length of the bow too much by putting this extra groove in. This one's going to go straight round. I'm using a rat tail rasp here, as you can see. Okay, so that's going to be where our stringer will go. Now we're going to make the actual groove for the longbow string itself. So as I say, once that goes on, it's going to be approximately like this. And when the bow is taut, or the string is taut I should say, when we're bending the bow, the string is obviously going to come down the bow a lot more than the bottom knot does. I hope you see that out and see what I mean. Now you can, if you want, to mark that with a pencil line, so you could just mark it down, give you a rough guide if you wanted to do that. I tend to do it by eye now, but as you can see, so we're going to be going across the back and then down at an angle, and obviously the same the other side there. Let's give that a go. So I've got the back there and I've swept down, as you can see there, at that angle. So let's try it the other side, so we can neat that up. Okay, so there we go. We've gone all the way around there and we've met up the two halves of the groove there. Now that's with the quite small rat tail rasp. We're going to use a round file now to widen this up a bit. There we go. If we put the string on there now, you should see how that sits, and obviously make sure this goes in the second groove. So there we are. I'll put the other end for you on as well. So there we go, we've got the other end there. That's the bottom end, as I say, with the bowyer's knot in there, so that's nice and tight in there. As you can see, the depth of the angle of the grooves, these tillering grooves, these temporary grooves that I've put into the bow, don't come down the bow as far, because the string with the knot there is tightening up into it. It's almost just completely around, much the same as these grooves we put in here for the bracing cord. Whereas the top knock, which I'll show you again, just so you can get that comparison. So you can see if I pull on this string, you can see how much more down the bow that groove is going to be. Well, I hope that gives you a general idea of tillering grooves. Say these are temporary, and once we've made the bow, this will be taken down to a cone. There's plenty of other videos I've done on the fitting the nocks, which I'll include on here so that you can see that, and these will disappear. But be sure not to go too deep into the bow, obviously depending on the size and depth of knock that you're going to put on, really. But in general, these will completely disappear. I hope that helps. Please rate and subscribe and like and all those other wonderful things for more info on making bows and arrows and the life, the universe and everything. Thanks, chaps.